Gary Vee has been a phenomenon for the last 10 or 15 years in the social media space, and we're going to talk about lessons I've learned from Gary Vee. Let's go! Gary Vee has probably been the predominant social media influencer for a lot of you, and specifically for me, for the last 10 plus years. It has been great to absorb his content, especially in the last couple of years for myself, but it was also especially fantastic to meet him at a conference earlier this year out in Vegas. The video today, we are going to cover the top 3 tips that I have learned from Gary during that time, and please stay to the end because we're going to give you a 4th tip that you're really going to appreciate. Tip number 1, lesson number 1 that I've learned from Gary that he specifically spoke about at that conference was we need to put things in a macro and micro category. Macro would be the larger things that are influencing us as humans, but more specifically our business on a yearly basis, periodic basis. The micro that he and I both agree that people get too much into the micro, too much into the weeds too often in their business is something you've got to watch for. Most of the time, people make the mistake of combining those things over time, and it's good to keep them separated so we can put proper thought and time in to what we need to specifically work on. The micro would be the day-to-day. The micro would be what do we need to get done this week, issues, problems, whatever else. Macro, at least my definition, would be those things that we need to be looking at monthly, quarterly, annually, or maybe part of that 2 to 5 year plan. Putting things into those separate categories, I think, has been big for Gary. It's definitely been big for me. I think it's going to be big for you moving forward. The second lesson is a pretty obvious one from Gary, and that is be yourself, be self-aware. For anybody that knows anything about Gary, he loves to swear. He made it very clear that's the way he's always been, that's the way he will always be, and early on in his career, it cost him. It cost him some relationship, it cost him sponsorships, cost him some jobs, and he looked at that and said, I don't give an F. I don't care, we're gonna do whatever we want, I gotta be me, and I think that's very important for all of us to think about and work on. I can also say I probably have lost some different opportunities being very direct, maybe language use, whatever. I decided long ago it is what it is. That has helped me more than hurt me over time. I think people have specifically appreciated the fact that I cut to the chase. I have said thousands and thousands of times, I get paid to tell clients of all shapes, sizes, and whatever the field is, what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Me as a professional advisor, as an entrepreneur, it doesn't do me, or especially my partner, my client, whoever I'm speaking with, it does me and them no good if I just nod my head and agree with everything that they're saying. We've got to have those tough conversations. We've got to be true to ourselves. And Gary Vaynerchuk has been very successful, probably for that reason alone, in addition to everything else that we know about him and everything else that we're going to cover today. Lesson number 3 that was a surprise to many, and he actually led his conversation with. He came out, and after getting the standing O and whatever else at the conference, he sat down and he said, I'm here for the first 30, 40 minutes to talk about what I see trends are going to be and important things moving forward. And I know a lot of you guys aren't going to want to hear it, but Tick Tock is here to stay. So it turned into a 10-minute conversation about the importance of Tick Tock and so forth, and the need for everybody to look at it. He thinks they have a 2-year ahead of the game runway. So if you're not doing something, whether you're rolling your eyes at it or not, probably the category that I'm in at this point, it's something you need to seriously take a look at. related to that was he made a lot of good comments about LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn being a greenway space of not being used enough, and it's something that everybody should dive into more, no matter what you're doing, even if you're on the younger side and you're rolling your eyes like I do on the Tick Tock side. You want to make sure that you're looking and seeing how can you potentially leverage that in your business. Please do me a favor before we get to the bonus tip. Hammer, smash, like the video, but also hit that subscribe button for me so we can keep sharing great content with you moving forward. Bonus tip related to my lessons from Gary: everyone needs to redefine success. If you have consumed any of his content, specifically of the last couple years, he softened a little bit from his crush it days of 10 plus years ago and so forth, but specifically the importance of everybody coming out of COVID deciding what is the definition of success. It isn't just money. It isn't just titles. It isn't just how much money do we have in our retirement account down the line or whatever else. What makes you happy? I have looked a lot the last 3, 4, 5 years. What makes me happy? What do I want to do at this stage of my life for the next 10 or 20 years? Gary does a great job talking about the subject, but also weaving it into the messages and the question and answers that he always does as well. He's been a force in that arena, trying to get people to look at it that way. And obviously with the state of affairs and the way things are right now, it's going to be a bigger and bigger and more important topic moving forward. So I want to make sure you are looking at that for yourselves and how that impacts everything from family, friends, clients, and your overall business. Thanks for joining me today. Please check out these other couple videos, and we'll see you next time. Peace!